The death of Takeoff has been marked as one of the most unexpected violent killings in the rap industry. On the fateful night of November 1st, 2022, rapper Takeoff was gunned down after a shootout broke out at a bowling alley in Texas. However, what most people seem to forget is that he wasn't the only one who got shot that night. Other people were also hit, and one of them, who has been identified as Sydney Leday, narrowly escaped death as she took a bullet to the head. Almost 3 months after the gory incident, Sydney Leday has finally recounted the details of that fateful night. Keep watching till the end of this video to see the woman shot in the crossfire of Takeoff's shooting speak for the first time. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Woman shot in Takeoff's killing speaks out. The woman who was shot on the day of Takeoff's shooting has finally decided to open up on the ordeal she went through after receiving a bullet to the head and spending 1 week in the hospital. What had been a series of celebrations over her birthday weekend turned out to be the most horrific thing that has happened to Sydney Leday. During her interview with a news outlet, Sydney revealed that although her physical wounds may have healed, she's still recovering emotionally from that gruesome night.
I really just can say I'm just grateful to be here, and it's just sometimes unreal.
She said tearfully as she recounted how she woke up at the hospital after the incident. Everybody was around me. Well, when I first woke up, I didn't want to be there. I kept telling my mom I want to go home. I had never been at a hospital like that. But I remembered what happened because I was up the whole time after I got shot in the head, and I called my mom. Sydney Leday explained that she felt the sting in the back of her head after she got shot, and she remembered the person who she had gone out with at the time taking her to the hospital. It was like a scary movie, she said. I had blood all over me. It was still my birthday weekend, and I was out in my costume celebrating Halloween like every other 24-year-old.
Like any other 24-year-old, I was just out partying and celebrating because I really never dressed up for Halloween.
When asked about Takeoff, Sydney added that she didn't think anything of Takeoff and Quavo being at the party, but just as the party was about to end, she noticed a change of energy in the room, and what started as friendly banter turned into something grave. I thought it was just like, some friendly banter, she said. Quavo, he was upset, so I noticed something was wrong. He was finna leave, so the party wasn't gonna keep going on, and I saw whenever everything broke out and I tried to run, but I didn't go that far, so it was really like a movie, shooting all the way until I got down the escalator into the car. Sydney confirmed that she was running away when she got shot and spent a week in the hospital after being admitted. As a result of the shooting, she suffered panic attacks and struggled with her mental health, as she is still trying to recover emotionally. I feel like that part was worse than the actual part of being shot in the head. The place that it hit in my head, I just feel like it was a miracle. Who shot Sydney Leday? Since Sydney Leday spoke out about her ordeal during the night of the shooting, the debate of who may have shot her has been a trending topic on social media. Some fans have argued that it just might have been Patrick Clark's bullet that hit him, while others have argued that it may have been Lil Cam. Both men have been officially arrested for firing weapons on the night of the shooting, but only one has been accused of killing Takeoff. So which one of these men do you think would have shot Sydney Leday? Lil Cam. Could it have been Lil Cam, the first man who was arrested for Takeoff's murder? Lil Cam, arrested on November 23, 2022, was accused of unlawfully and intentionally carrying a weapon onto the premises that he had no ownership over. These charges were brought against Lil Cam because, at the time, he was prohibited from possessing a firearm. To top it off, he's a convicted felon on charges of Grand Theft Auto, and carrying a weapon was in violation of the terms of his existing bond. After his arrest, prosecutors claimed that surveillance footage showed Lil Cam carrying a weapon at the crime scene, but the district attorney's office didn't go so far as to accuse him of firing the shot that killed Takeoff. Thus, Lil Cam was only arrested as a suspect and not as Takeoff's killer.
We believe Cameron Joshua has been appropriately charged in this case.
Prosecutor Matt Gilliam told reporters during a press update.
And we're continuing our investigation into the death of Takeoff.
One of Lil Cam's lawyers, however, spoke publicly in his defense, stating that his client did not shoot Takeoff. Christopher Downey, Lil Cam's lawyer, said to news reporters, "I haven't seen anything to suggest that Cameron Joshua had anything to do with the shooting, that he discharged a firearm that caused Takeoff's death, or was he even involved," Downey said. "My understanding is there was some type of skirmish." Downey ended his statement by saying, I'm familiar with all the Instagram sleuths. They remind me of the blind guy who tries to figure out an elephant and grabs its trunk and thinks it's a snake. The bottom line is they're wrong. Cameron Joshua did not shoot Takeoff. It turned out that Lil Cam's lawyers were right, as he wasn't charged with shooting and killing Takeoff, but could he have fired the weapon that hit Sydney Leday? Or could it be the man who was actually charged with Takeoff's death? Patrick Clark. Patrick Clark's actions couldn't help but implicate him before the eyes of the law, as he attempted to flee from the USA with an expedited passport. Patrick Xavier Clark, arrested in eastern Houston on December 1, 2022, was merely a person of interest in the case until his actions made him suspicious before the authorities. From getting an expedited passport to booking a flight ticket to Mexico and even having a large amount of cash during his arrest, all of these, alongside concrete evidence, was presented before the court during Patrick Clark's arrest. Clark was arrested and he had his passports, visas, and other travel documents seized, and he was barred from leaving the vicinity of Harris County after his release. Clark's bond was set at $2 million, but after several pleas and motions from his attorney, it was dropped to $1 million. While stating the conditions for his bond, prosecutors added that Clark stayed away from the following people: Takeoff's family, Jay Prince Jr. and his family, as well as Shakur Stevenson, who was hanging out with Quavo and Takeoff on the fateful night, as well as anyone from Shakur's place of employment. However, the prosecutors didn't say anything about Sydney Leday. Could this mean that although Patrick may have killed Takeoff, he didn't fire the bullet that hit Sydney? Patrick Clark released. Although Patrick Clark was charged with killing Takeoff, he was released from prison after his $1 million bond was paid. However, the details of Clark's bond have been sketchy, as he revealed to the court that neither he nor his family would have been able to afford $1 million to secure his bond payment. However, Clark's attorney revealed that a family friend and concerned citizen helped pay the bond. According to the bond paperwork, Jim Willis, a private investigator hired by Clark's attorney, facilitated the bond but did not pay for it. The payment was undoubtedly shocking, especially to those eager for justice to be served to Takeoff's family, but they believe that the authorities will conduct a proper investigation and do the right thing, as Clark is still the only person charged with Takeoff's murder. Do you think Patrick Clark may have also shot Sydney Leday? Or could she have been hit by a bullet from Takeoff's camp in retaliation? Join the conversation and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and leave a comment down below. Thanks.